Greetings, friend. I'm going to give you 3 amazing tips you need to know if you want to solve Sudoku without using any marks. The third tip is going to reduce your solve time the most. Click below if you want to give this puzzle from round 7 of the Grand Prix a go. And with that, it's solving time. First thing you want to look at is these ones here in rows 5 and 6, along with these 2 ones. Means there's only one place for a 1 up here in block 4. Okay, so we can mark that pretty quick. And then we look at the 2's. You can see now because of this 1, you have a 2 here. And here, there's only one place for a 2. So we can mark that 2 pretty quick. And then with these 2's and this 2, you can solve for 2 right there. And with the 2 that we just made down there, with these 2's, you can solve for a 2 here. So we're doing some cross-hatching, where you're just kind of looking across the rows and columns to solve in the blocks. When you have an easier puzzle, like this one, then you can get a lot of cross-hatching done at the very beginning here. So we got these 2's and this 2, solve for 2 right there. We got all the 2's knocked out. And you always want to look for more opportunities. As soon as you solve, look and see where you can go next. I usually just look in the next block over, either up and down, or left or right. Now I'm going to look over at the 6's, okay? In the 6's, there's an interesting thing going on here. You got this 6 coming up, column 9. So it leaves 2 places for a 6 in block 3. All right, I'm going to highlight that because I want to show you something. This is my first tip. It's called using pointing pairs. And so since the 6 has to be somewhere here in block 3 and it's limited to column 8, that means the 6 can't be anywhere else along the column. So it can't be in this spot anymore. And since we have these 2 6's here and this 6, there's only one place now left for 6 in block 6. So you can only put a 6 right there. And so that's my first tip. You want to use those pointing pairs. And you want to learn more about pointing pairs, hidden naked singles, cross-hatching. Click on the free comment below, download my free Sudoku solving guide. I cover all that much more. And while you're at, check out my Buy Me a Coffee page. See what I'm doing to help make Sudoku a more enjoyable hobby for you. Okay, after doing that 6, now we can move on to the 7's. You got 2 7's here in this 7, and we're going to solve for 7 right there. And now I want to show you something. There's 2 ways to find where the 7 goes here in column 2. First way, you could go, okay, I got a 7 here, I got a 7 here, makes a pointing pair of 7's in block 4. This pointing pair with this 7, and the 7 in row 3 means that has to be a 7. Okay, the other way to look at it is you can just look down column 2 and go, where can a 7 be? It can't be here or here, because this 7, it can't be here because of this one. This has to be a 7. Either way works. It just depends on what you see and notice first. But now with that 7 and these 2 7's, we can solve another 7 right here. We can't do any further with the 7's. You got 2 spots for 7 here. You got 2 spots there. We won't be able to solve that just yet, but don't forget about it. But what we did do is by putting the 7 here, now we've restricted where the 1's can be in block 2. These 2 1's and this 1, we can solve for a 1 right here. And with these 2 1's and this 1, we just come on down, solve for a 1 here, and then hopefully you see where that last 1 can be. By looking at all 4 of those 1's, it has to be right there. Awesome. Now I'm going to write my second great tip. Most of what we just did with those 1's, that's cross-hatching. That's looking through the blocks to find where the only place a candidate can go. The other way, my second tip, is you can also find these hidden singles using the rows or the columns, and that's what we're about to do here. If you look for where a 6 could be, you're looking up here and you see these 2 6's and go, okay, I got 2 spots for a 6 here. Doesn't really help us. Look at this 6. I got 3 spots for a 6 here. Doesn't seem to really help us. And then you look in this block, you got 3 spots for 6. Doesn't seem to help us very much. However, if you look across the row, look across row 2 and go, where can a 6 go? You'll notice it can't be here because of this 6. Can't be here because of this 6. And it cannot be here because of this 6. So this is actually a hidden single in row 2, and that's what we can use to solve. And so that's my second tip, is finding those hidden singles using the row or column. And now back to some cross-hatching with those 2 6's and this 6. Solve for a 6 here. And with these 2 6's, solve for a 6 here. And you see we just keep creating more restrictions for ourselves, all right? 2 spots for 6 there and there. Can't solve it just yet, but we're going to remember that. Now let's move on to the 4s. Because we put a 6 here, now at this 4 and this 4, there's only one place for 4 in block 1. Nice. And now with these two 4s, we can put a 4 here in block 7. Okay, and this 4 cuts across and can't be here anymore. Can't be here because this 4 can solve for 4 right there. And with these two 4s and this 4, solve for 4 here. And with these two 4s and this 4, solve for 4 there. We got one last place for a 4. And it's right here. So we knocked out all of the 4s. And this is going to help us now back with the 6s. You remember I said 2 places for a 6 here. Well, once I put a 4 there, I could immediately mark that for a 6. And then I knew there's 2 spots here. I know I can mark that one for a 6 as well. So we're getting really quick at this type. And you think this is a good puzzle, share this with somebody you know, see how well they solve it. And while you're at it, ask them to subscribe to Smart Hobbies, and they can solve Sudoku puzzles even better. Okay, now let's look at where you got this 8 cutting across here, and this 8 means only one place for an 8 right there in block 8. This is helpful. And we can do a little more cleanup. You got this 3 here and this 3. We can solve for a 3 right there. All right, and with these 2 3s, you can solve for 3 right here. And so we're getting some of these easier cells to solve, but now it leads us up to our 3rd tip. And I said this is going to reduce your solve time. And the 3rd tip is to know when to switch between hidden and naked singles. We've been looking for nothing but hidden singles this whole time. Now we want to look for a naked single. Notice how this 5 cuts across row 2 and it leaves 2 possibilities for 5 in block 2. So that's going to be another pointing pair. That means a 5 has to be somewhere here in block 2. It's limited to these 2 cells. 5 can't be anywhere else along row 3. And so this cannot be a 5 anymore. And if you looked in this column, or actually you look in this block, you go, this block can have a 5, 8, or 9. Well, it can't be a 5 because of this pointing pair, and it can't be an 8 because of here. You can actually solve this cell now for a 9. And that's how you do it. That's my 3rd tip. And so when cross-hatching starts to fade away, you got to switch back to the naked singles. And we're going to do a lot of that now as we filled up most of this grid. You'll see as we are starting to complete these blocks, complete these rows and columns, it's going to be the switching between the hidden and naked singles. So let's get rid of the colors. And let's see what else we can do now with these 5s. Because of this 9, this is now a full house, meaning 8 candidates are filled in. We only got 1 remaining. It has to be a 5, which means this has to be a 9, which now means we can do a 9 and a 5 right there. Awesome. And with these 2 5s and this 5, we can solve for a 5 here. So we want to kind of still use that cross-hatching. It's going to be really quick for us. And then look at column 7. We got 8 cells filled out here, so we know this has to be a 3. Nice. And now with this 3 cutting across, the 3 is actually a pointing pair. We can solve this cell for a 3 because the 3's got to be in one of these spots, right? And then, you know, this is a 5, 9. Well, I got my 5 right there. So here's a 5 and here's a 9. And now since the 9 covers these squares, that's got to be your 9 right there, which we created another full house. And so it looks like we just need a 5 right here. Awesome. All right, now let's move on and see what else we can solve. Okay, we got, looks like 8 and 9 here. Got my 9 there. This is going to be your 9, and that's going to be a 9 right there. And now with this 9 and this 9, we can solve for the 2 9s there. With these 2 9s and this 9, we can solve for a 9 here. So I'm just using the cross-hatching. I got a lot of 9s filled out. Now I'm going to see here and go, oh, I got 1 spot remaining. In block 3, it's got to be an 8. So I'm going to see how much I can cross-hatch these 8s. 8 there means 8's got to be in this spot. It's got to be in this spot. And now we got an 8 here, and we got an 8 there. You see how much we got done just by cross-hatching. It's so quick. All right, and now we know this has got to be a 5 because I don't see a 5 in the block. And we're going to cross-hatch the 5s a little bit. 5 with this 5 means this has to be a 5. Nice. And then I'm going to look over here and go, okay, I'm missing a 3. 3 and a 3. With this 3 means this has to be a 3. And we got 2 cells remaining. One of them has to be a 7. And you remember, we only had 2 spots for 7 there, 2 spots for 7 here. That last one's got to be that 7. Check out this video to learn some more amazing tips about solving without marks. Please consider supporting me through my Buy Me a Coffee page. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching.